Hello my fellow Fall of the Samurai player. The Rip here with another playbook video. And before we continue, I want to make sure that we all understand one thing. I'm not talking about exact builds players follow. It's a rare occurrence to see players use exact same composition on even if it's the same map. No, it's some patterns players prefer to follow. And today I want to talk about Killerfish's pattern, which I believe undeservedly underrated, because I see almost no players to use the same units as he is. Let me start with boring stuff. As most of top players, Killerfish usually have really strong cavalry contingent. And here one interesting thing I wanted to tell about cavalry. There is sometimes discussions going about how many upgrades you want on your hierarchy. People usually agree that they want 4 upgrades on melee attack and 2 upgrades on melee defense. And the question is if you need upgrade in morale. Sometimes people want it, sometimes people don't, but I have today I have come up on a topic which discuss fatigue resistance bonuses. And it seems like if you get 7 chevrons on your cavalry, it get fatigue immune on a plain ground. So you can run your cavalry on the plain all you want. So it's beneficial to have 7th point anywhere, used anywhere on your hierarchy upgrade. And that's one more reason to get at least 1 morale upgrade after you got 4 melee attack and 2 melee defense. So let's get back to the Killerfish. This is his cavalry, and sometimes he has 1 more cavalry unit. It depends, it really depends. Now he complements his cavalry with I often see him take at least 150 range unit and some additional units. So let's say 3 line units. And now interesting part come in. He takes 2 Yarukachi. Isn't that cool? Unit that everyone speak about as a useless one. Why did it came up in as a pattern in a play of such a strong player as Killerfish? That's what I wanted to talk about. Let's think. How can we use Yarukachi, and what we want with this composition actually? Let me add something here. Yeah, like this. 4 line units, not a weak contingent, strong cavalry that can dictate, that can get control of the whole map, but to get control of the whole map, you want your cavalry to be stronger than your opponent's cavalry, and you want your cavalry to be away from your line. You see, you take some area control by putting your line in some defensive position, and you run with your cavalry across the map, and you want your line to be protected by something. Now, one way to protect your line is obviously spear levy. And well, spear levy has... And what do you want to protect it from? I forgot to ask that. Obviously, you can try to use Shogitai, but that will not really protect your line from enemy's cavalry. So you want spear levies or Yarukachi. Spear levies has 4 morale and really limited, very limited usefulness. But if we look at Yarikachi, they have 8 morale. So they can protect you from the cavalry, and at the same time you can use them as a melee attackers. Obviously they will never be as effective as Shogitai or Katanakachi, but they are much more versatile. You don't put your hope on your Yarikachi to slaughter your opponent's line. No, you don't. But see what is happening. He acquires zone control with his line. He forces his opponent into defensive position using his cavalry. And he isn't afraid to leave his line alone without a cavalry, because he can protect it with Yarikachi. And now it's Killerfisch who can choose the moment to attack. When he decides to attack, he moves his line a little. He starts line fight. At the same time, he charges with his cavalry, and he charges with his Yarikachi from the front. So they at the same time mid shield, and at the same time they will sometimes get to your opponent compared to spear levy, and they will engage in melee fight. So obviously I described the perfect scenario. It's not always go as you plan, but that's what Killerfisch betting at. And sometimes if opponent has really strong cavalry, he can use one Yarikachi to go with his cavalry and force, well, he still can force his opponent into defensive position. That's what main idea. Get cavalry advantage, and at the same time get your line protected, and at the same time have melee units that are not completely useless. Because I have seen this Yarikachi getting to enemies' bears and destroying them. That happened. Another thing to consider is playing against melee rush. Imagine if you try to stop melee rush with spear levy, they will rout pretty soon. But 2 Yarikachi in front of your line usually will hold enough for your cavalry to charge them from the back, and for your line to get some sufficient kills and start kiting. It isn't easy, but it works much better than spear levy or, let's say, more line. Not wrong one. Because you see, if you have more line, you still have to use some of your units as a mid shield to stop melee rush, or you will be running from him forever. But with Yarikachi, you actually can stop him for a brief moment and shoot some, while you hope for your cavalry to win cavalry fight and engage his opponent's melee units from the back. So you see how versatile, I don't know how it's pronounced, how versatile this build is. Just because we choose these 2 reactive units, they are not strong, they are not slaughterous, they are not fast or anything, but they are all around useful. You can use them in such a broad. You can use them in many ways, as I described. You can stop melee rush. You can use them against cavalry, and you actually can use them as a melee attackers when fight starts, and they are not useless as a melee force. And I'm actually a bit surprised that Killerfisch used this pattern for a long time now, but no one catching it. It's I have seen maybe 1 or 2 Russian players use the same idea lately, but I rarely meet anyone aside from Killerfisch to use this pattern consistently. And personally, I really like it. I tried to use it lately, and it works good. It works good, especially against cavalry-heavy builds, and a lot of strong players use cavalry-heavy builds lately. So that's what I was that's what I wanted to talk about. I'm sorry, my tongue doesn't listen to me today. And I hope this gave you some new perspective you can use in your own playbook. So, have a good day, and I hope to see you again on my channel.